my little escape. Like, okay, yeah, look, I'm going training. But really and truly, I should have just said, yeah, look, I'm gonna spend some time with the family, like the baby and the missus, and let me just chill off and make sure everything's good and be at home, innit? Like, be a dad. So like, my life's changing, but I'm not accepting it.
Let me have a little drink on the old peacock.
Hey.
Hey. So, we get to you now, Mr. Denzel Bentley. Your recent, don't call it a comeback fight.
Yeah.
Notice I didn't call it a
Come. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
against Danny Diggum ended very, very quickly. Can you walk me through the preparations for the fight and your strategy sort of going into the ring?
Yeah, I mean, it was just about staying focused and getting to the body. Those are the two main things. Like, obviously, like everything in training is around the jab. Just work the jab, and find your way inside. But this camp was very, like, I wouldn't say tense, but a little bit tense. Like, there was more, like, I was a lot more fired up for this camp because obviously the fight before that didn't go my way for, like, other reasons that I've explained and stuff. But I just wasn't focused. I wasn't concentrated. So this camp, I just had to really be focused. Everything I was going outside the gym, I just had to kind of push it to one side and lock in for this fight because I knew that, you don't get too many chances in this game. And I've had a few myself, and I've been quite lucky and, blessed to be able to have to come back, more than once. So when we picked Danny, I knew this is a credible fighter. If I beat this guy convincingly, I'm right back where I left off. Whereas if I'd done what I'd done to Danny to an 8 rounder for a confidence booster, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything because anyone can do it. So we picked Danny, and it was like, stay focused. So even when I'm doing the long rounds, it was like Martin would say, like, even if you don't throw a lot of punches, I want to see the concentration. He wanted me to throw a lot of punches in the fight. So on the pads, we'd be throwing a lot of shots. But in the spar, he wanted to see my concentration. So he's like, I don't want to see you falling asleep and getting caught with silly shots because you're not paying attention. Everyone gets hit at some point in the fight, but there's a difference between like getting hit with certain shots and getting hit because you switched off. You know what I mean? So he was like, I want to see the concentration. So that was the main thing, just like keep your concentration, keep focus during this fight. And then the second thing was finding a way to get to the body. Just starting off with the jab and then finding your way to the body. So in that fight, that's what I had to do. I had to just really start sharp, start switched on, using my jab quite well in the early rounds, parrying his shots, coming back with my jab, and then eventually found my way to the body. But when I found his body, I just couldn't miss. So I just thought, yeah, we're there.
So firstly, I will commend you on going back into, that kind of level and not, and you've explained the reasons why that you didn't want, and we'll get to that later. You didn't want to go back into like the road back to the road back, if that makes sense. So yeah, I commend you on that. But when a fight like ends like the Diggum fight unexpectedly fast, is it a blessing or is it a curse? And does it sort of change? Like, let's say your what's the word? Change your approach to subsequent matches.
I think it's always a blessing. I mean, to get rid of someone like Danny Dignam, that caliber, that was a ABA champion, was on Team GB for years. I didn't have my first amateur fight till I was 19, turned pro at 22. So compared to him, I'm very inexperienced. The only thing is, as a professional, I may have had more fights or had more championship level fights. But that's a man that's been boxing from a kid, excellent fight. So be able to do that, it's a blessing. It shows my progress. It shows, my dedication to the sport and how much work I'm willing to put in. I don't really go on about my amateur career because I just feel like it isn't important. But if I really was to break down when I started boxing to when I am now, you would appreciate and see the fights that I've taken are really too early for me. But because I believe in my ability and I believe in the work I put in, and these are opportunities that you can't really turn down because this is where I want to be in the sport, I take them. So, I mean, but people just see things for, the surface level, what it is, until you start going back and talking about it. But sometimes that just takes too much effort and I just can't be asked and just take it for what it is. So with Danny, to get rid of him, in my mind personally, I thought it would take me 6 rounds, especially because we sparred a lot. So we kind of knew each other. I just felt like he wasn't going to let me get inside that easily. But I think he caught me at the end of the first, and he thought he had me. So that was his downfall. I think he thought he had me, so he thought, yeah, press him, sit on him now. And then that's when, as he was trying to let off more shots on me, he was just slowly opening up. And I realised that, and I just kept changing my level, went to the body, went to the head, and went back to the body, and that's what put him down the first time. And once he was down the first time, I knew he was hurt. I thought, yeah,
Yeah.
go there again, because me personally, I'd never hurt Dan to the body in sparring, but I'd seen him especially at the old Peacock, he'd be sparring certain guys, and I'd always see him get hurt to the body. Someone will put him down, and I thought, I've never hurt him there, like, but everyone else seems hurting there. So this fight, we just knew, look, he's a bit soft
Let
around
me
the body.
file that.
Yeah, so yep, mental note, put that in there. So yeah, in this fight, I just thought, yeah, 10-ounce gloves, we're targeting that body, but we don't want to make it obvious. We don't want to just start going to the body and getting caught on the way up. So yeah, it worked out.
I mean, was it a case that, you know, you say it's a blessing because obviously it's you don't get paid for overtime, but also is it something that you needed to do, not necessarily for everybody else, but just for yourself to say, do you
Oh,
know what?
100%.
I've still got it.
100%. Like, like I'm in sparring and everything, my mind's clear for this camp and there's no worries, like the baby's all good. And I'm just thinking, okay, you know what? I'm sparring well, but I've got to be able to perform. I've had a few slip-ups because it's just stupid things and intrusive thoughts in the ring. And it's like, oh, why did I do that? And then it's like, I need to prove to myself that I am still at this level. Like, whether anyone believes it or not, I don't really care. I need to understand where I am. When I went out to Vegas to fight Yannick, everyone thought I was gonna die. Like, yeah, this guy stands no chance. I'm giving him a round and a half. I think the whole world probably bet against me to get knocked out. And I went there and I didn't really care. It's like in my heart, I felt so confident. I thought like God ain't putting this in front of me to just come out there and get knocked out and around. There's no way. Like this is meant to be. I'm going for this. And no one apart from my team and my family actually thought I could do it. I mean, I didn't get the win, but I put on a great performance, and everyone's like, "Oh my days, Denzel's da 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 da," and it's like, just yesterday, I was a dead man. Now today, I'm world class. I can't listen to you guys. I'll go mad.
So here's the thing. Going back to what we were saying earlier on, sometimes you've got to grab the opportunities when they come. And again, sometimes you don't know what a fighter's got unless you're around them or unless you've spoken to someone who really knows you.
Yeah,
You don't know what a fighter's got until they're given the opportunity against a really great dance partner.
yeah.
So that's the first thing. I remember, I think on one fight you said, I can't remember who it was, you fought, and then you went back and you read all the negative.
I was after the cash fight. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And you was like, right,
Yeah,
shit, right. Is that the kind of fuel? Does that fuel you though? In some,
yeah,
because you know some people
100%.
get all depressed and whatever. You
No.
use that as, so I was dead and now I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like even for the Dignam fight, there's still a few people like, yeah, no, we don't know how good. I'm like, okay, just keep that in me. I want to show you, so I can turn around after and look at you and be like, yeah, you still think that, even though I don't know them personally, but like, do you know what I mean? It's like I'm reading these comments, I'm seeing things. Some people are at me and things, so I just see it anyway. So I don't really ignore it. Some people just like, oh, I don't want to look at no negative comments. I'm ignoring it. I'm like, no, I'm gonna look at it. Oh, cool. All right, cool. I'm coming back for that. I need to prove. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just me. And then for myself, it's like, yeah, cool. I know I don't that much. So when I'm going in there, it's like I'm fighting my opponent plus all them comments that are slagging me off. Like, yeah, I'm punching you lot in the face too. So I guess it's a bit of both. Like too much praise might like calm me down a little bit. Like, yeah, you know what, I meant to win this. Everyone knows already. Nah, just hate me, please. Just doubt me a little bit, so I get that kind of fire in my belly to prove a point.
The thing is also as well, it kind of then also makes you think there are certain people that comment that you just shouldn't. Whether it's the thing is, if someone is positive and you take it, you've got to take their negative. So
Oh,
sometimes
100%,
it's
yeah.
best, do you know what I mean, to just go, do you know, let me keep it to my little circle,
Yeah.
and that's enough for me.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is for me now. Like when people praise me, I say, oh yeah, thanks, and go ahead. And sometimes when people slag me off, I actually laugh. I sent to my group chat like, oh, this is funny. But I don't want to laugh at it like online. But I just sent to my group chat like, oh my days, like people are so creative. They say some funny things. But like it's still like, okay, cool. There's a lot of people still doubting me. Okay, there's work to do. We're not there yet. There's work to do. But when
Yeah.
people praise me, I try not to get too excited. Like, oh my days, this guy thinks I'm great. Like, no, like it's all right, man. Thanks for the compliment, but I still got work to do. Do you know what I mean? I'm not where I want to be. Like I keep saying this. Like every boxer would want to be a world champion. A lot of people don't say it because they feel like, oh, they don't want to sound like they're being unrealistic. But yo, that could be my reality. I fought for a world title once and I was close. So that could be my reality. So that's what I want. I keep speaking it into existence like I want to be a world champion. I'm saying I've
Yeah.
taken a few L's and I've bounced back. So it shows my character and where I'm trying to head to. Like, no, I'm not giving up until I get my hands on one of those, world championships. Like, I want my
Shiny
name to be stamped in.
belts.
Yeah, lovely belt. I want my name to be stamped in that history. Once I've got my names in history, I've done that. You can't take that away from me. So I still want
Yeah.
to do it. And like I said, a lot of fighters won't say it because they feel like they're being unrealistic. But no, I feel like that's a reality for me. So I'm gonna keep working till I can get that. And if for some reason I don't, I know I tried my best. So
Hey, that's the thing, innit? That's the
yeah,
thing, if you reach for level 1 and you miss that rung, you'll get level, do you know what I mean? You'll just get
yeah,
level
yes,
2.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
all
No,
good.
exactly. Yeah.
So listen, reflecting on the recent fights, particularly after a setback, how do you approach like the mental aspect of preparing for a fight? I'm guessing you were down after your loss to Heaney. How did you then prepare, or did you do anything differently mentally to get yourself
Not
shaped
really.
for Diggum?
Not really, because with the Dignan fight, it was like, I mean, with the Heaney fight, it was like I was really just not there mentally. There was so much going on and stuff like that. So I got out of the ring and I was fuming. I was like, oh, forget boxing. This is long, man. I can't be
Hold
arsed.
up.
So yeah, I was like, oh, let me get. I was like, oh, I can't be arsed. I forget boxing. So I just went home and I was just spending some time with my son. I hadn't seen him since he come out of hospital, and I was like, spending time with my son. And it was just kind of hard to be upset, like my son's there. It was just hard to be upset when, I'm with my son. He's just born. He's just there. He doesn't have a clue what's going on. He probably doesn't even know he loves me yet. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just there. It was just fun. So I was spending so much time with him. I kind of got over the loss, and I didn't really care about it no more. And I was just like, well, boxing ain't even life. Like, boxing is boxing. Life is life. Like, it's two separate entities. Like, even though boxing is life, it's like it doesn't dictate the person I am. Like my beloved ones ain't gonna view me any different because I won or lost the fight, but the public will because they don't know me personally. Do you know what I mean? So I wasn't around anyone. I was just around my son in it. And then when I started coming back out again, then I started being reminded that I lost it. It's like, oh yeah, I did lose. Like, I did
Yeah.
lose that. I got to
Shit.
change. I got to change. I got to get out soon so I can change this. Everyone keeps asking me about this, and it's actually quite annoying. But I can't get annoyed because it's reality in it. It's what's happened. So when I got back in the gym and I got a date, I was excited, and I remember getting the call for Dignam, and it was like my coach asked me like, "Well, is this the fight you'd be up for?" I was like, yeah, it's a credible name. Like, let's try and get a title on it, like, and make it worth everyone's while, innit? I don't want to fight like this for no reason. And they're like, oh, coming off a loss, was hard to get a title, but yeah, they managed to, pull full strings for me and got a title in line. I'm like, cool, we're back, we're right back. So now all I got to do is, concentrate, get focused, and deal with this in good fashion, and I'm right back. I knew I wasn't too far away, but so when I got the date and everything, it started getting easier. Like, okay, yeah, cool. Not long before I correct this anyway, and I'll show everyone and myself that I was going through a lot of like mental stresses. Like mentally, I was just drained and didn't realize I was drained because after my fight in April, I didn't box in November, but I'm still in the gym. I'm in the gym, family stuff's going on, kids born prematurely, didn't get to do anything, and then I don't get to spend time with him and I got a fight. And it's like I've wasted a lot of time being in the gym and didn't spend no time with my family or didn't take my mind off boxing. I'm just so drained, but I got a job to do. Just try and stay focused, be professional, and let's get this done. He was in hospital for like 10 days and I was gym hospital for 10 days. So during that 10 days was like the last 3, 4 weeks of camp. Like I just couldn't get things right, like nutrition and, eat my eating time. Sometimes I miss a meal. So it was getting hard to kind of lose weight because I'm going in the gym, tired because I left the hospital late. And then I'm just trying to work through it. And I was just feeling quite flat. Do you know what I'm saying? And it was like, I feel flat, but look, this guy isn't anything. He's not. He's someone that he shouldn't be beating me, even if I do feel shit. That's my fault for underestimating. I'm like, I feel flat, but whatever. Like fight now, I'll get up. I'll be up for it. I'll be up for it. That's how I was
Mm.
feeling myself. And then after I weighed, and I was like, yeah, fucking hell, I get to go home tomorrow, man. Jeez, I can't wait. Whereas usually I weigh in and I'm like, oh, it's fight time. I wasn't fired up.
Hope you're enjoying our content. Please do me a favour. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you know when our new content drops.
Nah, I remember speaking to my cousin. And I was just like, yo, I just feel like I'm training. I don't feel like I'm training for a fight. I ain't got that fight feeling. I just feel like I'm just in the gym training. Like it feels weird. Like, you know, when you're in the gym without a date, but you're training hard. That's how I felt. I didn't have that fight feeling. But for Dignam, I had that fight feeling. I was like, oh, I'm gonna put hands in this guy. Like I'm gonna like. And Dignam, we were quite cool because we sparred loads of time. I had to just put that aside. Like, nah, listen, you can't come in between this. Like, I gotta hurt you. So then, like, getting my mind right for the next one wasn't too hard because it was like I felt the difference straight away. Like, yo, yeah, I mean, that loss wasn't even me, and it was still a majority decision. But he's someone that shouldn't have been me anyway. But he was fighting like 30% of me because I didn't even step back. I was just walking forward, trying to land a big shot. And if you look at all of my fights and my knockouts, I've never knocked out anyone like that, walking forward and landing big shots. It's always been off the sharp counters or a fast backhand. It's never been off like hands up, walk forward. It's never. But that's how I fought, and I didn't think to change anything in the 12 rounds of fighting. So I ain't watched it back, and it's a loss that I don't really see as a loss, if that makes sense. Even though it's on my record, but yeah.
So you were the favourite going into the fight with Nathan Heaney. And listen, again, no disrespect to Nathan, but of course you'd fought the better caliber of fighters. You were at a higher level. You were expected to win that fight and win it, let's say, comfortably. Okay.
Yeah.
Then after the fight, obviously, you didn't make any excuses, which, you know, it's only down the line that you started to talk about what was happening. Do you think now, with hindsight, that you continuing to train for a fight almost did you use that as an excuse to keep your mind off what was happening in your private life?
No, not really, because like as time went past, you know, my son was well. There wasn't any like complications with him, so you know, I was just enjoying it. But then it was like in my mind, it was like, okay, now it's time to get back. Everything's fine. There's nothing that should be distracting me. Like everything's good at home. Everything's good in the gym. I'm still a boxer. Like I haven't been kicked to the curb. We're good now. Let's just get back to where we were.
So you're saying your child was born prematurely while you were
Yeah.
going through the Heaney camp, yeah?
Oh yeah.
And so,
I was using
in
that camp
some
to kind of.
respects, there's a part of me that goes, did any of your team go, listen, Denzel, this probably ain't the right time? Or was it something that you, and I don't mean this in a bad way at all, but as a coping mechanism, you continue to train?
No, 100%. Because it was like when I'm in the gym, everything's out of the way. That's like my safe space. I'm in the gym. There's no worries. They forget about it. But the minute I stop hitting them bags and I shower and I train, it's like, oh my days, I've got to do this and that and this and that and this and that. Do you know what I mean? So like my coach would keep looking at me like, yo, make sure you're up for this, you know. Don't be overlooking this guy. And I'm laughing like, no, I'm not overlooking him, man. I'm overlooking like, let's just get to work kind of thing. So I'd never made any complaints or any excuses as to why they might have felt like I shouldn't have fought. So I was just like, yo, look, let's just go. Like I might miss a day, but I'm in the next day. Like, okay, no, listen, look, I'm back, I'm good. And they just like, look, make sure you're up for it. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm up for it. I'm not someone that's ever gonna say no, not because I'm a yes man, because I want to do it. I'm not being forced. Like I'm just a bit stubborn. Like I want to do it. I didn't want to pull out against someone like Heaney, and then it looks like, oh, he pulled out and blah. Now we got to reschedule, and I just wanted that over and done with. Let me just beat Heaney and move on. I wanted to go back to world honors and fighting for world honors, potentially getting a Saudi card, all these things. You know what I mean? But then if I'd pulled out and then we're going into this fight next year, I'm still hanging about Nathan Heaney. Like, no, let me just knock out this guy and go home, sort out my family life, and then move on with my career. Of course, it didn't go how it was planned. But yeah, so I was just using the gym as like my little escape. Like, okay, yeah, look, I'm going training. But really and truly, I should have just said, yeah, look, I'm going to spend some time with the family, like the baby and, you know, the missus, and let me just chill off and make sure everything's good and be at home, innit? Like, be a dad. So, like, my life's changing, but I'm not accepting it because I feel like I've got a job to do. Like, okay, I'll accept it after this. No,
Yeah.
I should have just accepted it straight away. Like, no, I'm a dad now. I've got different responsibilities, you know what I mean? But I was like, okay, look, just one more. Let me get one more and then I'll accept it. But I should have really just been like, no, you know what? I've got a different responsibility now. Let me put that to the side and we can get back to that when the family's okay.
That part of, though, also being a dad, that you almost feel a little bit more pressure on your shoulder because you're the provider.
Yeah,
So
and
in
that
one
too, yeah.
respect, you know, you're trying to do your job because you're trying to provide for your family.
Yeah.
But mentally, like, there is no shame in saying, listen, I can't handle this and this at the same time, but I also
Yeah.
understand the pressure. And I think men you know, some people might not agree with me, but I think this is a pressure that most men feel like if you're not providing for your family,
Yeah.
do you know what I'm saying? You're not doing your
Yeah.
job
You're not doing your
correctly.
job, yeah. But yeah, I just thought, like, look, listen, I got a job to do, I got to do this, and obviously I don't get paid if I don't fight. But it wasn't even like I needed that payday. I didn't need that payday because I'd just come off the Vegas fight and I'd fought in April, so I could have waited. But it's more like, look, continue my career. We want to move forward, get a place, and raise this guy. And like, let's just go. I got a job to do. This isn't. It's not a difficult job. We go out there, we get it done, and then yeah, and then we worry about what's going on after. But you're right, it's just me being stubborn as a man, just like, no, you know what, I can handle all of this baggage. I can do this and that at the same time and provide. And I'm a man, like, I'll do it. Don't worry, I'll get it done. Yeah, obviously, my girl had a cesarean, so like she couldn't move physically, so I had to do a little bit more, and that probably should have made me feel like, you know what, she can't do anything. Like, I need to do a little bit more. Like, but I thought like, no, after this, we'll get to it. But yeah, it just didn't work out as I'd planned in my mind. But it's
And
life,
how is
innit?
the family now then?
Yeah, everyone's good. Everyone's good, and that's what I was saying. I actually just like, I just gotta thank God that everyone's healthy and good, because if they wasn't, and I was too busy just worrying about myself and being, kind of selfish and worrying about my career, then I'd really I'd regret it. I'd regret it. Like, I'm happy that it turned out the way it did. I'd rather have lost and everyone's fine than had won and no and everyone wasn't fine, because then it's like, was it really worth it? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
so it's good. I'm happy. Everyone's fine. Everyone's good. Baby's growing well, and it's just it's a fun time. It's interesting. I'm finding it funny, like being someone's dad. I'm like, oh, you're in trouble when you're older, mate, because yeah, I'm just as hyper as you're going to be. So you might be telling me to sit down.
Isn't it? There will come a time. There will come
Yeah,
a time. No, that's
yeah,
it's good to hear. I thought it was I thought it was interesting that you did it. I think it's one of those things. If you'd have said something, then there's likely to be some clown that says, "Oh, you're making excuses," and then
exactly.
you don't say anything, and you're carrying that burden. So, I really commend you for like just holding
No,
that,
thank you. Yeah,
on your shoulders, and in those times, is it important to have that close net of your trainers around you, your family? How important is it to have those people around you at that time?
no, it's very important because they kind of like assure you that, look, it is what it is. As with me, I'm just having a mental battle with myself. Like, oh my days, that was so dumb. I'm so rubbish. Like, what am I gonna do now? Do I continue? What level do I box at? What level can I come back at? Like, and everyone's like, yo, just enjoy time with your family. Like, you're not in the wrong if you say something too. Like, if you want to speak on it, you're not in the wrong for speaking. I'm like, bro, I'm not just going to start blaming my son that I lost. Like, the guy just got it. Do you know what I mean? Like, he just got it. I'm not going to start saying I lost because like, no, I'm not doing that. And plus, like, if I do that, someone's going to have something to say. And essentially,
Mm.
if you're going to make me feel like you're speaking bad about my family, that's something that can annoy me. So I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm not going to give anyone a reason to be able to speak negatively about this situation. So. And plus, if I'd have said that stuff from the beginning, it's more pressure. Like, okay, if you lose to Danny, what's your excuse now? Do you know what I mean? Like, that was your excuse for that one.
Yeah,
What's your excuse now for this? So it's like, you know what? Don't say nothing. Just take
yeah,
it on the chin. Just take it on the chin. Like, a few people I spoke to privately, I mentioned to, and in interviews, I'm like, yo, don't bring it up. Like, when I'm ready, I'll speak about it. So a lot of people didn't know about it. So when I spoke about it, everyone's like, "Wow, I didn't even know you had a child," and blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, like, he wasn't well. I don't feel like putting him out there. Like, he wasn't well at first. He's amazing now, but I'm saying that at first it was like I was a bit worried. I didn't know where it was going. So you don't just push someone to, oh, I've got a kid, guys, and then and you're in intensive care. Like, you don't do that. So I'm just
yeah,
praying he's well. He's fine now, and it's like, all right, we're past the phase where you're announcing my loss. Let me just enjoy my time. Let me just have him for a bit. Do you know what I mean? So I thought when I come back, put on a devastating performance, let everyone know, what I'm about, what I do, and then I'll say what happened. I'm not going to use that as an excuse. I just tell you where I was mentally, and you can make the decision for yourself. The two performances you've seen against two opponents, which I think Danny's a better fighter than Heaney, and you will see, and then you can make that you can have a discussion for yourself, make that decision for yourself, whether you feel like I was right that now or not.
yeah, 100%. And if something, you know, if the situation had not turned out positively, then you got to explain all that. That's long as
You know what
well,
I mean?
isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot. Like it's like you don't want to just keep going down and do, and then everyone's asking you questions, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, and then I'm just in a place like you said, like God forbid something had gone wrong, I'd just been like, yeah, but now it's getting what I don't want to keep speaking about certain things. Hey, now he's well and happy. I'm happy. I'm telling you, yo, I got my little man. Like he's all healthy. Like I can speak about it because it's all in a positive light now. And now I'll tell you what happened, and it's like, oh snap, is that what was going on? Oh, I didn't even know. I'm like, yeah, because it's not something that I'm using as an excuse to escape from a situation. What had happened has happened. Congrats to Nathan Heaney. He deserved when he boxed out of his skin that night. So I don't want to take nothing away from him, but that's the reality, and that's what happened. But I don't want to use that to deflect what's going on. I'm not trying to use that to save my career. I saved my career by putting on performances that I know I should have put on. I let everyone know who I am in life and what is, and then you lot can make that decision. And I'm not going to say, oh, I wasn't right, myself. I'm not going to say that. I'm just not going to say it. I mean, if I'd won, I had a whole speech like, yo, the last 4 weeks have been hard, man. My son was born. I had to drag out a performance and, stick to it and stay focused. And I lost and I thought, that's out the window, mate. I
Yeah,
ain't
so
mentioning none of that. Yeah. Cut the camera. Cut the
that's a
camera.
wrap, bro.
It's done. It's done. It's done. And I thought, yeah.
So,
I just had to hold it.
going through all of that, though, joking aside, going through all of
Yeah.
that, what is the significant lesson that you have learned, moving forward?
Listen, mental fitness and mental health is just as important as physical health or physical fitness. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Amen.
until you go through it, you don't really realize, and until you're out of it, you don't really realize. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, someone can be in a certain headspace, but until they're in a different, they wouldn't realize that they were mentally drained or mentally not right at that time. So just take all of it the same. If you mentally, I'm not right, but physically, I can't fight. Let me get my head right, please. I can't fight. But because me physically, the first half of camp was good. I'm in shape. The most important bit of camp is where everything kind of went tits up, and it's like, okay, but I'm still in shape. Like I'm still fit. I can still do the rounds. Yeah, but I'm not thinking during the round. So like, if I had a hand injury, I wouldn't have boxed. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Yeah, like I wouldn't have boxed. If I had my rib was, I wouldn't have boxed.
It's true.
I can't lock in. I can't focus. I'm having bad spars, but I just can't concentrate because I'm in the gym and I'm thinking, I gotta go to hospital. What time am I going to hospital? Oh yeah, I'm getting hit with shots. I'm like, but why does this guy keep hitting me with a jab? Like this guy's not good. But I'm talking to myself while I'm sparring, and I just can't lock in. I should have just been like, nah, no. It's not falling together. It's not clicking for me. Like, let me just take a step back. So just don't be afraid to take a step back. Don't be afraid to pull out. Don't be afraid to, look after your mental state. Just put yourself first, kind of thing.
100%. Yeah, I mean, it does beg the question, and again, I don't want to point any blame.
Yeah,
It does beg the question, though, that why didn't somebody around you go, hold on, fucking hell, he's getting done with things that he doesn't normally get done with. Do you know what I mean? And
yeah,
the weight ain't coming off, and
yeah,
because there's shape. I mean, you always walk around in shape anyway. There's shape,
yeah,
and then there's shape.
yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
not just shape, like you just said, the mental shape. But
Yeah.
I guess that's a lesson for everybody moving forward.
100%.
As a trainer as well, you gotta. And again, I'm not trying to appoint any blame to anybody. It's
Not a cool
just
jet.
just something as a female that I picked up that I'm like, okay, we overthink things.
Yeah. No, I mean, like we're all like men in the gym. So if I say I'm okay, of course we can take my word for it. Do you know what I mean? Like we're not gonna be battling. Like, I said I'm okay. If there's something wrong, I'm gonna speak to him because I trust my coach to a point where if there's something wrong, I'll tell him. And at this point, I actually think I'm okay. I'm like, no, I'm good, man. Don't make me feel like I'm not good, please. All right, cool. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna make you feel like you're not good. I'll keep an eye on you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, no, don't make me feel like I'm not good. I'm okay. Like, don't make me feel like I'm not okay. So that's me. I'm a bit stubborn. If I tell you I'm okay, just believe I'm okay, please. Like, don't make me feel that. So there's no one. Even when I speak to my coach, she's like, "Look, I should have spotted that." I'm saying, "Yeah, but I'm telling you, I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not putting that on you to have seen that to have saved me and pulled me out so I don't look bad. No, that I said something, and as a man, I want you to respect me as a man and take my word for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a kid, innit? So just take my word for it. And I told you that I'm good. So I even respect my coach even more for respecting me as a man to make my own decisions and trust me to you know what I'm saying, just trust me to on my judgment and stuff. So even though it didn't go my way, but let me take that blame, let me take that fault, let me hold that burden and figure out myself. Like, I don't need someone holding my hand and trying to figure out life for me. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Do you know what made me think then, though? That is how we are, males and females, are completely different. That we'll say as females, I'm all right. But realistically, the subtext is, there's fucking something wrong. You've just got to work it out.
yeah.
I'm not going to tell you. You need to draw it out. Whereas a man goes, let me be a man and hold this burden on my shoulders.
Yeah, let me hold it. Nah, don't help that. Listen, if I need help or ask, I'm all right. Let me just take this burden right now. Let me just deal with it. Let me find a way. That be this life. I mean, I got a family now. I got to be able to do this. If I walk my whole life, someone outside holding my, when they're not holding my hand, what am I going to do? Let me figure it out, man.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
You know, there is a saying that a loss done shouldn't define you. Do you think in a way that you fall back in love with the sport when you take a loss? Now, obviously, the head's right, the family's lovely, life is good, you just smashed up somebody, and all of a sudden, you're back on top in
Yeah. It's
everybody's
crazy, man.
mind.
It's crazy.
Does that kind of, reignite you, though, in some respects?
Yeah, it does. But then it also makes you realize, like, how harsh the sport could be. But it's crazy because, like, we love it. And it's like, if I didn't love this, I couldn't do it. It's just too cutthroat. It's too, like, it's harsh. It's harsh, but it's like, I love it. So I do it. So when I lost, I remember just being like, "Brother, I've got no interest." I think I was in Ghana for a bit and I was just like, I'm not even rushing to get back to get to the gym. I'm just not with it. Like, I don't really care. I just want to see my son. Like, I just want to spend some time with the family and whatever. And then I got back, I hit the gym, I got the date, and I was like, okay, you know what? No, let's go. I'm feeling a bit of that fire. Like, this is a good fight. Like, it's a good one to come back to as well. They're not telling me 8 round. I honestly said, I said, look, if you offer me an 8 rounder, 6 rounder, I'm not boxing. I remember saying that. I'm not boxing. So when I got, I was like, cool, I can get ready for it. And now I just beat this guy. They're telling me I got another day out in July. I said, let's go back in the gym. Like, I'm loving it again. I'm on top. Everyone's like, oh, Denzel's the. All right, cool,
Denzel's the
thanks. But
man!
yeah, just keep saying it so that I can get paid more. But other than that, like, whatever. So
The,
yeah,
the, the thing is, like you say, though, you just going off to Ghana, and it was the right thing to do when you feel like, because I think I read somewhere or heard somewhere that you said, listen, I don't know if I can be arsed with this anymore. And also, I
yeah, they
don't
say
know,
that. Yeah,
especially, I can't get up for an 8 round fight. And I think there was a lesson in that you just said, listen, it's either this is what I want,
yeah.
and you paid your dues, to be fair. This is what I want. And if I don't get it, not in a bad way, but I'm just not boxing. I can't get up for some, I was going to say Mickey Mouse 8 round fight. Not
Yeah, no, but I can't, like, the level I'm at. I think from lockdown, every fight of mine has been a 10 or 12 rounder. I think 8 of my last 10 fights have been championship fights. Come on, man, you're really just gonna put me in an 6 to 8 rounder because I took it out. Like, come on, man, like, no, like, do you know what I mean? Like, give me the chance to, pick what I want to do for now. Because, like you said, I paid my dues. I fought guys that, I probably shouldn't have been in the ring at the time. When I fought Heffron, he'd already been a pro 10 years. He'd been a pro before I had my amateur debut. He was a pro. I had my amateur debut 2014. I was 19. He turned pro 2012. I'd been a pro 3 years with boxing for the British title. I shouldn't. He was 25 and won with like 22 knockouts. I was 13 and 0. So it's like I shouldn't even have been in the ring with him. But I boxed him because on the lockdown conditions, everyone's getting pushed further. If you want to box, you're getting in the ring. Got the draw the first time, beating the second time.
yeah, it's
Now
good,
I'm in
good
there with
fight.
Cash, someone that was in the GB squad, been boxing for years. I'm still fairly inexperienced, but my talent and athleticism has got me through a few things. Obviously, my coach is bringing me on. He beats me. Everyone's like, you're dead. Go back to the amateurs. And okay, I'm gonna prove a point again. Came back in a 10 rounder in a fight I was meant to win anyway. But then I boxed Linus again straight away, straight back into it. Won that. Boxed Morrison straight into it. Won that. Boxed Janabek. My experience, I had 17 amateur fights, amateur for 3 years. I'm fighting a Kazakh that's had over 300 fights, world champion in 12 fights, an Olympian, done all these things. And I'm the only person that's been able to go toe to toe with him. With my experience, that's just my heart. Like, that's just me. I'm a fighter. I get gritty. Like, it's just, do you know what I mean? Like, I want to get into the trenches. Not to sound corny, but I want to fight. And up till now, he fought another world champion, knocked him out in 6 rounds. No one has been able to go toe to toe with him. So it's like, don't put me back in the 8 rounder when you know what I can do. Let me get another championship fight. Like, give me that respect, please. You know what I mean? Even when I come back, I thought, you know what I'm saying? So
You're absolutely right, and again, not to be disrespectful, there are certain fights that you've named there, fighters you've named there. I think Adolphe was one, Heron was Heffron
Heffron,
was the
yeah.
other one. You know, these are fights that I think were tilting more towards them.
Yeah.
And you've come in and you've absolutely, you know, you've put on a show, you've dominated, and every single time you've proved yourself. So for you to then go back and do an 8 rounder, and listen, if someone wants to do that,
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
as a warm up, fair play to them. But I was saying to you, I think your mindset now is, I'm a father, I got mouths to feed, I'm not
Yeah.
playing, this is not
Yeah.
a game. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It's not.
This
It's
is
not.
no game.
I'm getting
So
to that business end of my career as well. Like, I'm nearly 30. Like, I don't know how many years I got left in this. Like, sometimes my back hurts.
hey, so not only that, so first of all, do you expect to take that Heaney fight again, or is that something that literally, again, with the business mind that you've now got, does that make sense, or do you want some of that 5x5,
100%. I
some of
mean,
that 5x5 experience and
yeah.
money?
I'd love that, but I know there's a few things I've got to do before, I can get picked for those things. And the Heaney fight probably would make sense because it sells a lot of tickets, there's a lot of money in it. He wants a Stoke fight at some point, so if I can get a rematch for that, I would happily take that. Of course, he's got a fight with Brad Pauls and stuff, but I don't really want to fight for the British title again. But the only reason I'd fight Heaney is because he's got a win. He's got a win over me. Other than that, I'm happy to just let that pass me by. But just because he's got a win over me, I don't really want to end my. I want to fight Heaney again. I want to fight Cash again. I want to fight Yannick again, and then I'll be satisfied. Like I need to do a Lennox Lewis. Just be avenge every loss. You know what I'm saying? Like so, I just like that's what I want to do. So, but other than that, it's like I don't. That's the only loss I just feel like that's a dead loss. Like he didn't even beat me, but it's on my record, isn't it? No one cares that he beat me, so I need to get that back.
That sounds like this is something that you just need to do for you.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm
definitely.
saying?
Yeah,
Like, let me just put a proper cross through that.
yeah.
But
And,
yeah,
and if I fight him and don't stop him, I need to fight him again. I need to knock him out. But not on the chasing. I just need to beat him bad, so you just know the levels is different. That was a blip in my. I need to beat him bad, like. But yeah,
that'd be a good fight though. Again, that'd be a
yeah,
really, really good fight.
yeah.
If someone was starting their professional boxing career,
Yeah.
what 5 things or 5 pieces of advice would you give them?
5 pieces of advice. Listen to your coaches. Listen to your coaches. Stay dedicated. Stay on top of your work. Don't really slip up don't take too much time at the gym. Don't slip up. Don't lose focus. Don't lose focus. Always be willing to learn. Um, Never treat sparring like a real fight. And that's a weird one. I don't mean be lazy in sparring, but there's no points to prove. Sparring's for learning. When you're sparring, try and pick up things. Try and pick up mistakes you're making, and try and pick up the opponent is doing, whoever you're sparring is doing, and see if you can figure it out. Always use sparring like be as focused as there is a fight, but there's no need for wars because as you know yourself, sparring where you take most of the damage. Like we spar week in and week out. It's not the fight where the damage is done. It's in the gym, and if you're having gym wars, you're gonna have a short career. And pick a good manager. A good manager will take you a long way. If you're signed with the right person, they'll get you the deals you need to get, put you in position you need to get you the fights you need to get, and yeah, you're in a safe place. But those are 5 things for me.
To be fair, the manager one definitely, but the sparring, that piece of advice is absolutely priceless because you're absolutely right. You see, and I get it. I think the difficulty is, especially if you're going into somebody else's gym,
Yeah,
already you're at a disadvantage. You got to then try and prove yourself. You don't want like in somebody else's house to get licks. So there's all of that stuff going on. But you're absolutely right about using it as a learning curve and not be seduced by everybody around you. What do you think to people videoing, sparring, and putting it online?
Listen, I've done it before in the past, but it's not something I really agree with. I mean, I've done it before in the past, so I'm not going to be too critical, but it was a clip of just me doing a certain movement that I wanted to post. But when you're posting actually like beating someone up in a spar, I just think, what's the point? You don't earn nothing out of it. Like, I remember my coach, when I first turned pro, my coach, Martin, that's always been with me now, but Ray Ball used to train me before as an amateur as well. He used to tell me, look, when you're in the spar, you don't win any money, you don't win any medals, you don't win any trophies. So just be sensible. So when I see guys doing all that and posting, I'm saying it means nothing. You could fight that guy and they will absolutely obliterate you. You don't know where they were in camp, what stage they're at. But I get this is the social media world, this is social media life, and everyone wants to, you know, build their brand off social media and doing things like that, inspiring guys and all of that stuff. And it's just like, I don't see the point of it. Any sparring I've got like now, like it stays on my phone. It just stays. I don't even post a clip of movement or nothing. It stays on my phone, and I just watch it back to see what I was doing. And do I feel like I've gotten better, or I sparred this guy again? How did I feel? Let me watch that back. What did I do? What worked? I don't really. I just think putting sparring online is childish, man. It's nonsense.
When, like you say, if you're using it to do a little bit of publicity for yourself, fair enough. But when people start exposing, and then I done him with this shot and blah blah blah, and like you said, you have no idea. You have absolutely no idea. They might have had a bad night's sleep. They might not have eaten before they came
Yeah,
training.
they might have had a hard session the day before. Might have just started camp. It might this just could be anything. They might have a lot but fight night is when everyone's their best. Let's see if you can do it then. That's when it matters, isn't it? So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I just think, and plus it's a bit disrespectful because that person's come down to help you. Do you know what I mean? They come down to help you with your rounds, to help you with your fight, and then you just want to go and embarrass them and put on a bit of sparring. So we don't do that still.
Yeah, you got to teach these young ones, man, because boy, every damn thing they want to put online.
Yeah, social media era, man. But and that's the difference, man. All of that can get you down. When you're not getting the attention you want, you just start feeling depressed and you feel like, oh, no one's watching me. I don't buy into social media at all. Like, if it wasn't for boxing, I'd happily have a private Insta account or just maybe just not have one at all. Like,
I hear that. I hear that. So, any upcoming fights? I know you said you're back in camp. Have
yeah.
you actually got an opponent set?
No, I haven't got an opponent. We need to get a meeting sorted and figure out, what we're doing because everyone's just got back from Saudi. So given that time. But yeah, I'm out July 27th. That's the potential date for me. So yeah, just need to figure out an opponent and then start working on this opponent. So for now, I'm just
Is that the
keeping
Birmingham
the shape.
card?
No, that's the week after Joyce Chisora at the
Oh,
O2.
okay.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Birmingham
you're
card's
on the
25th.
O2 one.
I'm on the O2 one, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Listen, you know what? It's great to see you not come back. It's
Thank
good
you.
to see you out. Yeah, no, but you know what I'm saying. It's good to see that you're doing well. The family is doing well. I actually enjoy seeing you do a bit of punditry, so you're getting a little bit more exposure.
Yeah.
Thanks. You're always a pleasure to talk to. Thanks ever so much for giving me
Thank
your
you.
time.